Hello and welcome to English Capsules. Today's capsule, past continuous. Get your coffee ready and let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again. Here we are with a capsule to revise a grammar topic, which is past continuous. First of all, we thought it would be useful to revise a little bit the structure that this topic implies. Within this structure, we have the verb to be in the past together with an ing verb. So first of all, we thought it would be useful to remind you of was and where. We have to remember that was and where is the past for is and are.
And
And that brings,
don't forget
sorry, So that brings us to the combination that we have to make with the different subjects, right? So if it is he, she, it, we are going to use is in the present. So that means that for the past, we are going to need was. If it is I, we usually use it with am. So it is also was in the past. And for the rest of the persons, you, we, and they, in the present, we use are. So this means that we are going to use where.
So one thing that I want to comment is that in this case, we're not going to be focusing on affirmative form and negative form because this is very easy to do. As you know, the verb be has both an affirmative and a negative form, which means that simply by using the negative of the verb be, we would have a negative sentence in the past continuous, like she wasn't running.
We have to remember to include both elements because if we are using only was and were and the verb without an ing form, this is wrong. And the same would happen if we use only the verb with an ing form without the verb to be. So this is the combination of the two verbs in all the forms, in the affirmative, in the negative, and in the questions, in everything. We're
So
going
now
to
we're
show you.
going to
Yes.
focus on function. So what is the use of this tense that is a little bit different than past simple? Okay, so let's go into function then. And we're going to proceed this way. We're going to give you examples and then we're going to discuss what these examples show. Okay, so our first example is I was working on my computer at 2 p.m. yesterday. So in this case, we are describing an action in progress at a particular time in the past. Yeah, I always tell my students that when we are using the continuous tense, it's like we are watching a movie. So we can see the person performing this action in front of our eyes.
So the key words here are action in progress in a moment in the past, right? But progress is the key word, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. The following example that we have is she was reading a book when the phone rang. So in this case, we have two actions. One action which was going on, like the previous one, an action in progress in the past, but there was another action in the past simple which interrupted the previous one. So she was reading a book is past continuous. This is like a longer action. And the phone rang is simple. So this is the action interrupting the action in progress.
So one thing that we need to say about this structure is that normally when we have this function, we are going to use when. When is the one that indicates that the action is being interrupted.
Exactly. You can also use while here. You can say, but the order in the sentence would be different because you can say, while she was reading a book, comma, the phone rang. Okay, so it also shows interruption, but the placement of the time expression, let's say, while and when, are different. So you have to be careful where to place them.
Okay, so our next example. While I was having breakfast, Natty
Mhm.
was sleeping.
Okay.
So if you pay attention, in this case, we have two actions that were in progress at the same time in the past. So this is true because we have 5 hours of difference. So while I was having breakfast, you were sleeping.
The importance here is to remember that these are simultaneous actions. They are both happening at the same time. Our next example is the sun was shining, the birds were singing, the children were playing in the park. So this is like a list of many actions, and this is to set the scene or to set the background. This is to give us context about an atmosphere, to speak about a past event. Maybe this is very common in stories.
I was thinking that this is common in either stories or when we have a movie and
Mhm.
we have like
Like a
narrator,
narrator. Mhm.
yeah, that is like giving us a setting of where this story begins. So this would be the setting, right?
Mhm. This is like a full description of the background and all the things that were going on at the same time in the past. So it's like it's a little bit of all the previous aspects that we were mentioning, but this is very specific because it is to set the scene. So it gives the audience like a better picture in a way.
Hmm. Okay, he was always complaining about the weather. She was always saying bad things about her mother. They were always complaining about exams. So this is to show you that always can be used to emphasize something that in nature is going to result annoying for us.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes? So though we normally find always in the present simple, we are aware of this, we can
Mhm.
also use it to emphasize that something is annoying, like, oh,
So when we make use of always in this context, it is with a specific purpose to show annoyance,
mhm,
right? If we use it in the present simple, we know that it is to show the frequency of an action. But this is to show how repetitive the action was, and that's why we find it annoying.
mhm.
The following example that we have here is I was wondering if you could help me with this. So, in this way, we're using the past continuous with I was wondering to soften a request. So, the request is, can you help me? But in order to sound more polite or to sound less direct, we can use it, I was wondering. So, this is all for today. We have provided you with a list of the many uses the past continuous may have. Of course, we are going to leave you a task because we are teachers and we like
You
homework.
cannot go without a homework. So we are going to invite you in our Instagram account, The English Capsules, or in Spotify or YouTube. You can also drop a comment and you can share with us what were you doing before listening to this capsule.
Mhm. So the question is that what were you doing before listening to this capsule or listening to this episode? The idea here is that you can use the past continuous to give us your answer.
You could say I was preparing a coffee.
Why not? Sure. Okay, so before we go, remember to subscribe if you haven't done it yet, give love to our content, and spread the word to help our channel grow.
Also, remember that you can rate our episodes and comment on each capsule. Activate the bell so that you know when our next capsule is out. And take a look at the description and our Instagram account to take more advantage of our content.
Okay, that's all for today. Bye for now.
See you in our next episode.